What's going on, everybody? It's me. It's the PR. I am me. Coming at you guys with another episode of the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. And this week, my guest is Mr. Alex Fernandez. Man, oh man, you got to introduce yourself because it's actually kind of big for me.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on the Prime Nostalgia Podcast with, of course, your host, Prime, who's bringing all the greatness on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast fix. And Prime, you invited me to the show, and I really wanted to do some podcasts, and I guess it was great timing. And now I'm here, man. And people who don't know me, I love to talk about sports, tech, fashion, nostalgia, like what we're going to talk about today. You know, I'm a big 90s guy. People can see it in my style on my Instagram at Mr. Alex Fernandez. I got my own weekly show at Too Legit Show, TOO Legit Show. And if you ask Prime, man, I talk about everything and I just have fun. And for people who know me in a previous life, I used to be a big gamer on YouTube. Used to play a lot of WWE, NBA 2K, Call of Duty. And I think Prime used to watch me back in the day before I kind of repackaged myself a little bit. So this is really cool, man. You're really going to bring back the nostalgia for me because, you know, that's a completely different person in my eyes. I was way bigger. I was like way heavier, not as happy. And now I'm just like a really happy person now. I'm just a different dude. But it's just been crazy stuff, Prime. And I'm just really happy to be here.
So I guess we're going to get right on into it. Let's talk about your former life. Let's talk about Mr. Sma11z99. Let's talk about that guy.
Wow. Sma11z99. Can I ask you what was the series that got you watching me?
The series that got me was I know it was like when you're playing 2K games and you had the Machinima Palooza. I believe all y'all was involved in that. But I remember watching the it's gonna sound funny. The GOAT Brian Scalabrine career mode, or whatever you call it on 2K.
The White Mamba. You know what's so funny, Prime? Sorry to cut you off, Prime, but literally everybody that remembers me remembers that series. And my biggest regret is not doubling down, tripling down, and quadrupling down on that series, because that series took off like wildfire. And everybody tells me that series was the heat.
Yeah, that series was good. And then, of course, you used to play the games with, I want to say it was Pulse and Tubby.
Oh, yeah. Okay, WWE stuff. Right on.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you this. I remember one time you guys had an episode, or not an episode, you guys did like a thing, and you were gaming, you had people call in. I called in. And,
no way.
Yeah, I called in.
What?
And my question was, when did the NWO debut, or what pay-per-view did they debut on?
Oh my God, was this on Twitch?
No, I think it was on, maybe it was on Twitch and YouTube. I don't know. I don't remember. But I only say this because I remember this to this day, which it's probably not a good, but somebody called after me.
Okay.
And whatever he called, he was like rambling on or try to, I guess, put his own self, or whatever he did.
Yeah.
One of you guys out of nowhere said, is this the Krusty Krab? And then somebody said, no, this is Patrick. And then I guess you hung up on this guy and then just start roasting him.
Wait, hold on. Can you please say that one more time? Hold on. Let me see if I got it correctly the first time, Prime. This guy rambled on after your fantastic question about the NWO. He's like, I gotta get over. I'm gonna get my shit in like X-Pac, and I'm gonna ramble on. And somebody said, is this the Krusty Krab? And then he on the line said, no, this is Patrick, and we hung up on him.
No. You guys wanted to get to the next caller.
Okay.
So I think Post said, is this the Krusty Krab? And like Tubby or somebody said, no, this is Patrick. And you guys hung up and just started talking about him after.
Yeah, that sounds like our stream, a Tubby Post and Sma11z99 stream for sure.
I was laughing at that for a good 5 minutes because I was like, did they just hang up? And then they just started talking. Y'all just started talking about it. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, those are the best. I love when people called in, and the group stuff was so fun. I don't know if you ever saw that ladder match with, I think it was like Yard, myself,
okay,
Pulse, Like, and I somehow won that ladder match for no reason. No reason at all. I think I ran up a ladder, jumped on the ladder, and got the title. Like, in the most stupidest way possible. I started screaming around my house like a madman. But I don't know. That's here for another day.
Yeah, man, it's so many streams. I was in like every single stream because back then I didn't have Xbox Live, so watching you guys play and you know invite people to play with you, I thought that was cool. And then when I finally get Xbox Live, guess what? They move over to PS4. So
Oh.
so so yeah.
Well, I was the one guy stuck on an Xbox One too. I was the one who made the dumb decision to go Xbox One and everybody went PS4. So
Well, yeah, those things were always cool. Do you still get, other than like the White Mamba series, do you still get recognized as Smalls, or have you just like totally repackaged yourself that they just now call you Alex Fernandez?
you know what's funny? It all depends when you met me.
Okay.
Because, if you met me when I was Smalls, the gamer, and all that, then people just still there's people who still call me Smalls to this day, right? They don't care that I'm Alex; they'll still call me Smalls. They know me from then, and then if you've met me in the past year or two, then they know me as Alex because that channel is not up anymore. You know what I mean? So I can't. It's not like I can just pull it out and show people. So that really they're just seeing like a new side of me. And I think there's some tidbits here and there. Like if you go to certain people's channels, you'll find some classic footage, probably Prime. But yeah, I don't. It all depends when you met me. But like people, I think remember my voice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's if I walk in a room or if I say certain things or phrases or it's just my voice in general. But people will just remember me from a series, or they'll say, "Did you used to do a voiceover or something?" And that's happened before. So,
Of course, people can remember the White Mamba.
oh man, that was all time. I remember, to piggyback off that. I don't. Do you know who Nodis fan is?
I've heard of before.
Okay, so Nodis fan turned into sports to SGU/Nodis fan. So one time, this was back when the White Mamba series was heat, was just like getting good views. He went to a Timberwolves Bulls game. He lives in Minnesota, so he goes to a lot of Timberwolves games, right? So the Bulls were in town in 2012. That's when Scalabrine, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, right? They all come to town. SGU asks Scalabrine if he's seen the White Mamba series, right?
Yeah,
he says yes, and he's like, I need to get my royalties. So Brian Scalabrine, if you're out there, I got the message from my guy SGU that you want those royalties. You're more than welcome to come on the Too Legit Show and the Prime Nostalgia podcast to come, and we'll figure out your royalties and we'll talk about it live on the air.
Of course. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit. Now, I want to talk about your show Too Legit. First of all, I gotta say I'm kind of upset with you that you don't have MC Hammer Too Legit to Quit as your theme song or anything like that.
Well, dang, you just gave me the greatest idea to do it.
Oh, I've been
struggling for some music. I've always changed it up every show. I've been struggling for a consistent song, but I do like that. I do like that idea. That is genius there. I'm going to take that.
Especially because that's just a song that just, everything about that song I like. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I started listening. I was like, oh, he don't have Too Legit to Quit. How can you not? Oh man. But yeah. Aside from that, though, I really do enjoy the podcast. Enjoy the sports talk, of course. Other than your first takes and everybody on ESPN, do you ever know any shows that like talk about sports or podcasts is about sports?
Probably just like the Bill Simmons podcast.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But you're right. Everybody, it's all about the TV show, but you just got to make content. I think at the end of the day, whatever you like to talk about. So I try to put it out on Instagram, YouTube, and then do the full length podcast every week as well. And just I think volume too. So and getting some guests. But in terms of watching stuff other than TV, I can't, because that's what drives the needle, Prime. It's like whatever those guys are talking about is going to carry over across all. Whether I'm pulling it from Bleacher Report or I'm watching or I'm reading The Athletic or whatever, what they say, there's so much research and teams behind that I have to follow suit with it. If they're talking about the Cowboys, Prime, what am I going to talk about? I got to bring something about the Cowboys. So they move the needle. Stephen A moves the needle in terms of this industry, right? He does so many shows now, And what he's
Uh,
talking about is what's really the leadoff in. Like I'm
Stephen
in
A.
LA, right? He comes on at 7 in the morning, right? So he's on my TV from 7 to 9, and then from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock he's on local radio. So Stephen A. it drives my local market crazy. So I always have to watch those guys and see what they're talking about. Now there's going to be things that I want to talk about, and there's other topics that I listen to other podcasts like the Prime Nostalgia podcast, stuff like that I want to bring up. So it just I have to pull from both, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I only asked this because I wanted to know if you have anything like, for example, there's a ton of wrestling podcasts,
Right.
and like some people say, how can you differentiate from who talks about what if one thing happens in 1 week? Of course, all the podcasts are gonna be talking about that one thing.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to see like how do you make a
I just
difference in what you
I
talk about.
you probably just have to do like a person, either it's your personality or your show kind of has a gimmick, like the First We Feast, like the Hot Wing show, like there's a gimmick there, or it's just the
Hmm.
personality, or like I don't know if do you know who the Schmo is?
Yeah, yeah.
So the Schmo, right? The Schmo's been putting in work for 2.5, 3 years, right? And he
Hmm.
just got white hot off a clip when he was at the UFC press conference. So there's a part of that too, is like you got to be ready for the moment in a way. Like you got to have your content out there, right? And you're gonna go either you go viral or you get the hot interview or you get the right collab. That helps a lot too. It's like volume and collaboration, I think, is really what separates people. On top of like having the personality and being just like a slightly different in what you talk about, because the takes also what matter too. Like, are it's educational, is it entertainment? Like, what do you want to shoot for? I think that's what differentiates you. All that.
Okay. Because originally I was gonna have a wrestling podcast, but then at the time I was a part of like a wrestling group that
Right.
already had 4 podcasts in it. So if I made it, we would have 5 podcasts in one group. I said, okay, I got to do something different.
Right.
So I thought I'd do nostalgia since my channel. I do a lot of nostalgia things. So I
Yeah.
thought that would be the smart way to go. And plus, there's not many channels about nostalgia. It's a lot that I like, but it's not many like as wrestling. Wrestling has like thousands. Nostalgia probably has like hundreds. So
And it's a bigger niche too. If you really want to think about it, wrestling is like a really small group. Nostalgia, you can reach anybody, any age group. Like you can connect with so many more people. Prime.
yeah, and speaking of nostalgia, this question I should have asked. I should usually it's my first question, but we're gonna ask it now since we're on the nostalgia part.
Yeah, we've just been warming up. We've just been shooting from the
Oh
hip, warming
yeah.
up, man.
So, uh, growing up, what was a typical Friday night for you? Doesn't matter the age, just what resonates with you on a Friday night that you used to do growing up.
Man, I used to play high school football and going to
Okay.
those games on Friday night. And well, I played freshman. I played freshman
Okay.
football. I was terrible, and I got kicked a couple times. I was a little bitch in high school, so I was like, any little thing I didn't want to play. Right, I only did it because I thought it was cool. My high school was a football factory, right? So I had to do it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right.
So
So
your
I
high school was
I
basically in
got to
Alabama.
participate. But playing the Thursdays and then going to the games on Fridays and the hype and all that, that was always cool to go Friday night. Even games on the road. I always enjoyed watching sports and talking about sports. Wasn't the greatest at football. Baseball was actually my first sport that I truly
Ooh,
loved. That's a good Friday night we used to just play after too. But we'll stick to the Friday night high school right there. Freshman year. It's pretty dope.
okay. So you basically tried to be cool and get the girls, or you just
No, I was like, I'm gonna give football a shot, but then you're already like a couple games. If you're already like into the season, right, and you already have the mentality of doing the 2-a-days and hanging out with the boys all the time and picking up, like you don't want to quit. Like the people who quit, I heard, you see what kind of happens to them in a way. So it's
yeah.
like, I'll stuff it out, and then I made it through the season, and that was my first and last season of high school football.
Yeah, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm good, man, I'm good. And then I tried out for baseball. Actually, what's so funny is I walked into. This is a funny story. I actually walked into the men's basketball. I just looked and I was like, "Yeah, there's no way." Like this, that was one of those like eyeball ones. And then I did baseball too. That didn't work out well, but yeah, I was one and done with high school sports.
Okay. Well, since we are here to talk about nostalgia, let's just open it up a little bit. open up the age, just in case people don't know. What kind of shows did you like watching as a kid?
Wow, what kind of shows did I like watching as a kid? Well, no matter what, there was always like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, and Pokemon
Oh,
was always on the TV.
wait a minute. I gotta cut you off. Digimon, I know. I'm glad I'm not alone in this. Thank you. Thank
What
you.
happened?
Every time I mention Digimon, they say, "Oh, Pokemon is better." Oh, we never watched Digimon. We don't care about Digimon.
Listen,
Digimon needs love too.
I like both of them. I really enjoyed both of them. Like I still remember the song. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters. Yeah, come on, man. What are we doing? Like there was Space Form, and like I was a really spoiled kid, so I was able to get like whatever. Like I would get all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, or I would get the Pokemon cards, and I would get the Digimon stuff. You know what I mean? Like I always remember that they were dinosaurs, and yeah, it was Digimon deserves love, man. They had a little piece of the pie for sure. So there was that era, the Pokemon, Digimon. Remember Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh came on in the morning when I used to before I used to go to school. Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh was early mornings. That's for sure. I'm trying to remember like if you want to
really.
really
It was like Yu-Gi-Oh and Blade for me. But yeah.
Oh, okay. And then if we want to turn back the clock even more, we got to talk like Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh yeah.
That was heat. Rugrats, loved Rugrats growing up. Gullah Gullah Island when that fucking
Really?
when that okay. On this show.
Yeah.
When that fucking frog would come out of nowhere, man, I got lit. It was that was like my shit. And then like, I don't remember if they fed him. Hey Arnold. I remember Hey Arnold. Like, every person's head was shaped like an object. Like Gerald, I think the dude with the giant hair, the tall hair.
Yeah.
His head was shaped like a soup can or something. I remember this for some reason. There was like a thing, and then everybody like Arnold's head was a football, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had an object. That was the whole thing, and then that was some good times. I remember watching that coming on television. That was on television, but I was a bigger like gamer than I was a TV guy.
Okay. So what were your systems when you were younger?
First system was from my grandpa. It was a Sega Saturn. Ken Griffey Jr. was my first game, I believe, on a console. Grand Theft Auto was my first game, period. I remember playing Overhead. For people who, the OGs of Grand Theft Auto remember that, Prime, that it was like an overhead style game.
Okay.
Right? Like super retro. It wasn't the terrible graphics, and when you would shoot people, it would just be like it would be like little pixels, like putting people out. And the cops would just wear blue, and you would just be wearing your normal, like, I don't forget if you're a white shirt or a yellow shirt, but that was like the original game. Back to consoles, Sega Saturn, and then I bumped it up to a PS1.
Okay.
I was a Sony guy. I was a Sony guy my whole life. I was a Sony guy until at 360.
Okay.
So I was a PS1, PS2, greatest console ever made was the PlayStation 2. Nothing beats that library.
Except for when your memory card don't act like it don't want to work.
Look, man, you want to talk about some. You've probably done this, Prime, where you leave the game on pause, but you leave it on for like the whole weekend because you don't have the memory card, or you don't have a memory card, and you just pray to God that like your mom doesn't unplug it, right, or turn the lights off, and you lose your spot. That's nostalgia right there.
See, it's different from the day, because like the day if you leave it for like an hour, it turns off. So. Usually, like if you have any system, it'll automatically shut itself off. Not PS2. They're going for like a whole month, and it might not work, but it still be on. Yeah.
Dude, I used the PS2 for everything. I used to play CDs in that PS2. Everything, man. That was a great console.
Yeah, I did love PS2 as well. 360, PS2 and 360 were like my two, like those ones I really liked.
Those are my joints too. Those are my joints right there. I love those. What was your favorite PS2 game?
Honestly, I'm gonna say SVR 06.
Oh, yeah, everybody loves that game.
Because like to me, it's fun when you play by yourself and when you play with other people. I kind of like those games where you can play both.
Right.
Cause like now the games, I don't have fun playing by myself. I don't enjoy playing like a whatever kind of match if I'm playing, only me. If it's
Yeah, that's
me
the
and my
problem
cousin,
now,
whatever.
right?
You said what?
That's the problem now, Prime. I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. Everything is catered to the multiplayer. Dude, I remember renting a freaking wrestling game where there was No Mercy or something. That didn't matter. I'd rent that thing from Blockbuster. I would play the shit out of it by myself because
Mm-hmm.
it was great. Now it's all catered towards multiplayer and online and VC and all that other jazz, in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
good. Oh man. Well, I guess we can go right on into it. Talk about some wrestling a little bit from the old days. Not that old, but Um, what is your like earliest memory or your first memory of you getting into wrestling?
The
If you
Rock throwing Stone Cold's title into the ocean. That's it. That's like I remember what my man was looking in the camera, sunglasses at night. I think he had sunglasses at night on, if I remember correctly. He may have not. Not
I
very
believe
detailed.
so.
Nevertheless, I may have to pull it up right now to really sink it in. But what I remember is he looked in the camera, he had the fancy shirt, and then he threw the title into the ocean. That was my first professional wrestling memory. I really just watched WWF, loved The Rock, loved Stone Cold. I really had a hard on for Kane too, because Kane was just such a beast, man. Kane was awesome,
Kane is
and
under,
of course the NWO was cool.
of
And
course.
with the NWO, I had to like rewind into it a little bit. I had to really remember back then there was no YouTube. You couldn't really, if you missed something, you really missed something. You
You
really
missed it. Yeah, you couldn't. You either had to hear about it from somebody or you just like, all right, that's all right. I missed it.
exactly. Wait a minute. No, yeah, it was he. Yes. I'm watching the clip right now. He had the sunglasses on at night. Prime. It was the smoking belt title, and he didn't have a fancy shirt on. He just had a tracksuit on, and yeah, he threw Stone Cold off the bridge. April 12th, 1999. That's my first wrestling memory.
It seemed like they kept going back to that bridge because I remember Stone Cold threw the Rock over, or did he throw the Rock over? He threw the Rock's title over. I
Yeah.
think he threw the Rock's title over, and then they did the Stone Cold and the Rock when he threw it over again. And then I think Kurt Angle and Stone Cold were doing something. He threw Stone Cold over too. I
Yeah, they
believe.
just kept using the bridge. The bridge
Yeah.
was a gimmick. That's one of my favorite gimmicks, Prime. I think the bridge and the supermarket. Those are up there.
Oh, of course. I like the Stone Cold and the Rock and DX, and he was like I'm not Stone Cold. Do I look like Stone Cold? No. He looks like Stone Cold, and Stone Cold is in the I don't even know what that is. It's just a construction truck when he's about to blow the DS Express. That moment is good too.
Oh, that one's good too.
Like I get to a point where I can like quote certain promos because it's just memories to me. Oh man.
I'll always
So
love the Rocks promos, man. Like, do you like pie? Like the pie one was a huge one for me. I used to say that to people at school for some reason. Like the pie one was hilarious to me.
and they didn't know what you were talking about.
Man, they'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about, man?" And then I'm surprised I never wore a fanny pack because The Rock was rocking fanny packs in 1999.
The Rock, I don't know how he's so smooth when he does it though.
He's just a great, bro. Like he was great 20 years ago, and to this day, he still does it, man. He doesn't need any hair. He's got it.
Man, The Rock is just so. The Rock is like your favorite promo guy.
Yeah, for sure, man. I used to watch him a lot. He was awesome. Austin was too, man. Austin was a different because I love it when Stone Cold his music would just hit and he would he would just clear out the ring. Those are my favorite parts of Stone Cold. His music would come, he'd be just blasting his mouth off and then just stunners 10 people. Like that's the best. And then beer, we're done. Those were the funniest ones. Kurt Angle was good too with his milk truck. But I was a big Rock and Austin guy for sure.
I seen a meme on Twitter that said the best quarterback wide receiver duo is the person that throws the beers to Austin because he catches them every time.
Man, that's in tight windows too.
Yes, especially from the bell keepers area all the way to the stage, and he throws it that far. I'm like, man, okay, that's talent.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna switch gears again. We're gonna come back to wrestling. We're gonna switch gears again because I gotta. This is sports thing. Talk about Jalen Ramsey. Just so I am from Jacksonville.
Okay.
Not there anymore. He left the Jaguars. I was like, dang, that's kind of hurt everybody. But how do you feel about him in the Rams? What do you think he'll do with the Rams?
Hmm. Well, he wasn't going to get paid by Jacksonville,
Or
right?
yeah, we know that we had too many people to pay.
Right.
But him, I would have paid him before I paid Miles Jack. But that's just my opinion.
But a lot of people believe that this upcoming draft is cornerback heavy, and they feel like you can always get a nice corner in the draft at any point. So they let Jalen go for what? It was at least a first and a third, right? Is that was the trade?
I believe. Or yeah, first and the third, or first and the. I believe the first and third. Yeah.
It was just one, right? So they traded, and look, he's a lockdown guy. They needed somebody back there. They're gonna pay him. He's a stud. His go yard backpacks and his swag will really work out here in LA. LA, you win with stars and paying people big. So I would have definitely, I would have done the same thing if I was either Philadelphia or Kansas City, or who ended up winning it was the Los Angeles Rams. I think it was a great move for LA. They obviously are playing under a different salary cap than everybody else because they're paying Jared Goff, they're paying Todd Gurley, they're paying Aaron Donald, and now they're paying Jalen Ramsey next year. Now they have some flexibility right now because they got rid of Peters and Talib. So we'll see what's up, man. We will interesting to see what happens with that money. But I love the move as a whole.
Okay. I mean, who do you think had the best, trade this year? Like before the trade deadline, I say maybe Jalen Ramsey is the best one, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me being biased. I think Emmanuel Sanders really could help 49ers. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that wide receiver core is terrible, and he makes them respectable. And I'm not trying to be rude or mean or dismissive, but when you compare it to even their own division, the NFC West, it's not good. The team is 8-0, but dominant run game, dominant defense, and Jimmy G is making the throws he should make. Jimmy G isn't making throws that we're expecting Aaron Rodgers to make. Jimmy G is making the throws that he should be making. So the Niners are moving well, and now they have Emmanuel Sanders, and that's a great move. I wonder how much money they have left to even pay for somebody else, or in the off season, maybe look out and make a move for AJ Green or something in the off season. But I think I agree with you. That's a great move. Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah,
It's a good quiet move because Sanu has another year on top of this one on his contract, so that he will be there next year.
And I know Josh Gordon went to the Seahawks, even though he's kind of still covering stuff.
That was a waiver wire pickup too. That's a pretty good one. Russell Wilson wanted Antonio Brown as well, so I mean, why not at this point? It's just he wanted some wide receiver help, and they're really going for it. San Francisco has a great defense. Jalen Ramsey's on the Rams, and the Cardinals still have Patrick Peterson, so you do need that over the top threat.
Yeah, man. So who do you think is? I know it's probably too close to say, but who do you think is at least have a chance of winning it all?
Oh, well, my prediction at the beginning of the year was the Green Bay Packers. So I'm still going to stick with them. I know they look putrid. They look terrible on Saturday, Prime. I mean, on Sunday, rather. Well, they were having fun on Saturday. They were probably out at Nobu. Remember, hanging out in LA on a Saturday night. When you live in Wisconsin for half of the season and you get to come out to sunny Los Angeles where it's a beautiful 82 degrees all November, they go to Nobu. They go shopping. They go have some friends over for some drinks. They have some fun. Come Sunday at 1:00. They're not going to perform as well as they should. So I'm going to let this game pass. I still think the Packers are going to win it all. I really wish they would have made a move for Melvin Gordon. I also wish they would have tried to put tires for AJ Green or Odell Beckham.
But I don't think Melvin Gordon has been the same ever since he got number 25.
Well, what do you mean? Because Melvin Gordon, he's starting to warm up in the last game.
Well, he's starting to, but like, I don't know if you see his interview. He said the reason I'm coming back is because we're like 1-3 or something like that. And he since coming back, he hasn't changed anything.
Yeah, and he fumbled at the goal line too, which was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody was thinking like everybody was saying that Tom Brady is gonna get Odell because they had a talk. I'm like, they just need to calm down. I knew they weren't gonna trade Odell, the Browns. So who
Yeah,
knows?
they have
He need
bigger
help too.
problems. They need to
They,
figure it out. They need to just trade Odell to Washington for Trent Williams. I feel like that's the trade that should have happened. The biggest should have trade is Washington sending their linemen to Cleveland, Odell going to Washington or Green Bay or the Raiders or something, and then picks going back to Washington. But we'll see what happens. And then Williams was back on IR. He had that misdiagnosis, so pretty wild.
yeah, it's a pretty wild season. Uh, have you been any forward looking to the NBA season? Like, have you just been ready, and now that it's here, you can't wait, or how is that for you?
Yeah, I enjoy a good basketball game over a good football game. You know what I mean? I love watching. And then now there's duos on every team, and all teams are like every team is watchable now. Even Phoenix, a team we thought was going to be terrible, arguably the second best team in the league right now. They have the second best net efficiency. Devin Booker's an animal. They're
Yeah, I
well
love
coached right now. They just beat the Sixers last night.
Mhm.
Even that's Memphis with John Morant. They were going toe to toe with Houston. Miami, unbelievable surprise. Maybe Charlotte is the only team you avoid. Other than that, everybody's watchable. Even the Warriors, who literally have a G League team out there in their billion-dollar arena, they're watchable because that second round pick is dropping 30 points a night right now.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be big for them.
Yeah.
Especially with Draymond out, Steph out. What happened to D'Angelo Russell?
He has an ankle tweak, but it's so funny that it's funny that you mentioned Draymond Green prime. I think Pascal is Draymond's replacement. Not this season, but maybe the next season if he develops. And then they flip Draymond with about 2 years left on his contract to a contender. Because I think Draymond can make a team an instant contender still in 2 years down the road.
I know that I still feel like they needed somebody other than Draymond at the power forward. Like Draymond is a good power forward, but he's not that big. They
He's
still
six
need
five.
size. Yeah, but it seems like their team is small. Like they play real small
Well,
sometimes.
if you saw in the preseasons and all this other stuff, big and in the first game of the year, big teams just gobbled them up. Like, and if
Yeah.
you have size, you just destroyed Golden State down low. It seems like basketball is getting more into positions. I don't know though. I feel like the big man is kind of coming back in a way. Davis was getting a lot of touches in the post. They were using different dudes down low. I kind of like to see that instead of the Warriors era of 5 out, everybody chucking it from 25 deep.
They use everybody. The Lakers use like Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, JaVale McGee. Pretty sure whenever DeMarcus gets back, he's gonna be in that group of them using like they big men are doing excellent.
Yeah, this is no offense to Dwight Howard, but we got Dwight Howard off the scrapyard for like 3 cents on the dollar. Nobody thought he was going to do anything. Boogie goes down, and Joakim Noah is not good at his open workout. Here comes Dwight, and now Dwight and AD have one of the highest defensive ratings when they're together on the court. I mean, Dwight turned back the clock against San Antonio, 14-13 with 2 blocks. I'll take that any day of the week. Dwight is going to start pretty soon. I mean, JaVale McGee has not been the same since he was sick last year and he had to miss a week or two of games. He hasn't really performed to the level that the Lakers have expected. Dwight is just a nice addition. He's playing his position he's just PYP playing his position, saying the right things, and I love it, man. This is maybe his back is healthy. He just likes maybe he's doing a lot of hot yoga like myself, eating vegan. He looks like a guy who's eating healthy and doing a lot of yoga and maybe chilling on the beach in his off days, Prime. He's just really in a good place right now. And I love it, man. This is 2012 Dwight. This guy was on his way to getting a statue built in Orlando. Right. But he was just maybe he wanted more. He was a 3-time defensive player of the year, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 3.
He's a Hall of Famer. Any way you cut it, he's a Hall of Famer. 3-time defensive player of the year, top 5 MVP, took a team to the finals, and that team was built for him. And every other situation, huh?
No, I was just gonna say, I think if he would have do you think if he would have after Orlando, he would have just said, "All right, I'm done." You still think he would have gotten the Hall of Fame? Because I think he still could have.
If he retired today,
Well,
or if he retired before he went to the Lakers,
yeah, if he would have retired before he went to the Lakers.
he's still a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was trying to. Okay, see, because I think all his years with Orlando like helped him tremendously.
His body of work in Orlando is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he left Pittsburgh. He was a Hall of Famer as a Pirate and a Hall of Famer as a Giant. It's the same thing with Dwight.
I still the only thing that bothers me about Dwight Howard is that he doesn't have number 12. He has number 39. That's the only thing that bothers me.
I know D39. I mean, he's just who knows? Maybe it's something sentimental to him. Maybe he's playing for somebody. I don't know, but I dig it. Maybe he just didn't want to have that D12 attachment, you know, because
that's him though. That's him. And he was already playing for the Lakers, so shouldn't you go back to your team that you had the number with already? Oh, that's something that just
and all the people that had old Dwight Howard jerseys and the Goodwill, they don't, you know what I mean? All those people, they could have brought those back.
Oh man, I want to go back to wrestling for quite a minute.
Let's do it.
Have you been following up with anything? Like, are you aware of the little war that's going on? You following that closely or what?
I mean, I've been sprinkling here and there. I watched Brock Lesnar and Kane, and then I heard Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman was all right, but I haven't really been watching the product at all. Like I watched maybe a couple minutes of it when I was on Fox, but other than that,
well, no, depending on which minute,
I haven't kept up with the product. But I know Rey Mysterio is facing Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. That's something I'll definitely watch because Brock has always been fun with little guys like that. So that will be something I will be intrigued to watch. And I know NXT took over SmackDown one night and it was really good. Other than that, don't really know much.
Okay, well, I think I guess you can say you're like just a regular fan. You're not like you don't follow. I think you may want to watch Survivor Series coming up, personally.
Okay.
I think for a lot of people that don't watch NXT, it will put them on the map and it will give people like a newfound love for NXT, personally.
Okay.
Yeah, because the matches
and they're going to be NXT is going to be at Survivor Series this year. Like they're going to have like a part of it.
It's going to be NXT versus Raw versus SmackDown.
Ooh, I like that.
So already we got all the women's
elevates NXT.
Say it again.
That elevates NXT in my eyes as a casual now.
Yeah.
Like oh cool, it's on par with these guys.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. And all the champions are so far we got all the women's champions facing each other and all the tag champions facing each other. So all they did was set up those two matches, and those are going to be good because all those tag teams are great, and all the women's matches are great. So I'm telling you, be on the lookout.
Are we going to get Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins then?
We actually got that last night.
Oh shoot!
Oh yeah.
Was it good?
Well, they had to hold back for TV, so it could have been better. But from what I saw, it was good. And then of course on Friday it was Daniel Bryan versus Adam Cole as well, which was great.
Oh, wow. You're really getting the rub.
Yeah, the only thing that upsets me is that they're doing these pay-per-view matches or could be WrestleMania main events on SmackDown. But I'm still loving it. I'm not complaining.
So. Yeah, I think because it's Fox. You know, they really want to get those ratings up for Fox in the beginning, in the honeymoon phase. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't know how they're gonna do the NXT champion versus the WWE champion. Brock is defending his title, and Bray Wyatt is just a super villain. So I don't know how he's even gonna fight.
I heard they cut Bray Wyatt's balls off in this character again. Did that really happen?
Wait, that did what?
I heard like this Fiend guy is supposed to be awesome, and then they kind of just they shit the bed with him again.
Well, they had like a match, and like he was supposed to win, but they stopped the match because I don't know how you can get disqualified to stop a match in the Hell in a Cell when that's the whole point of no disqualification.
Right.
So people didn't like the ending, especially they didn't like the Fiend winning, and they didn't like that it stopped because you're not supposed to stop it. And that was the second year in a row that they stopped the match in the Hell in the Cell.
Got it.
Then he fought again, and like the match is not even good because Seth Rollins finished with the curb stomp.
Right.
Dude hits about 20 curb stomps in the match, and the Fiend gets right up. No
I
sales.
love it. I love it. I love it.
But like now it's like, who can beat this dude? He literally fell from like the top of the stage onto like, they had the pyro and everything on fire, and he sat up like the Undertaker or something.
Okay.
So they basically turned him into a super villain because who can beat him? Now he literally no sells finishers on concrete. How can you beat him?
Comedy.
So yeah,
So how many F5s does the Fiend eat then?
Say it again.
How many F5s does the Fiend eat?
Well, it depends on how many Brock feel like giving to him. But I'd say at least 7 or 8. He no sells about 6.5.
Damn.
Because like some over here like get right back up from the curb stomp, but then some curb stomps he'll kick out at 1. So, maybe the curb stomp just isn't a good finisher anymore.
And maybe they want to phase it back out.
So
finisher was the pedigree, right?
It was a pedigree because they banned the curb stomp.
So he's gonna have to bring back the pedigree.
He brought it back too. He hit the pedigree on him too.
And he kicked out?
Yes.
Seth Rollins is gonna have to do like a pile driver or something.
I don't know what he's gonna have to. Like he said he's not changing his finisher. So anybody that loses to the curb stomp is basically kind of buried because this dude kicked out of like 11 curb stomps at 1. And I'm not talking about like he curb stomped him and then pin him. No, he curb stomped him, went to the rope, curb stomped him again, literally 10 straight times. So,
That's what happens when you're the Fiend.
Sure. I want to talk about some movies real quick. I want to bounce off of everything in your nostalgic memory. So,
Do it, man.
Talk about some movies. What kind of movies were you interested in, or do you like? I'm talking about now, not even as a kid, just now.
Now?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of movies. I never go to the movie theater anymore unless it's with a date. But like, I don't see the point of going to movie theater because I got like a nice setup in my room right now with but like movies I really love right now. I really love the Fast and the Furious, anything Fast and the Furious, and anything with The Rock. I don't care how subpar The Rock's movies are, right? It doesn't matter which one it is. I am gonna watch it at a theater or I will watch it at home. I love those movies. I always watch The Rock movies, and then I'm not a big like Avatar guy, Lord of the Rings guy. Harry Potter was cool. I'm not there's not like any other series that I'm like, damn, I gotta go see it. Except maybe like Rush Hour. If they made another Rush Hour or the new Bad Boys, I'll definitely watch those. They're making a new Coming to America, so I may just go with that and go to the movie theater and watch it like that too.
Did you enjoy Hobbs and Shaw?
You know what? I have not seen it.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But this is a great plug because it drops today on digital. So, depending how my weekend looks, either I'll watch it here or we'll figure it out. But that's in the queue because it now just dropped on digital. So I have to watch it.
Okay. So what's your favorite Rock movie then?
The Tooth Fairy.
Really? Okay.
No.
Oh, I was about to ask some further questions.
It's also my favorite Fast and the Furious. It's Fast 5. It's the first one he's in.
Okay.
When they're in Brazil. That's my favorite Rock movie. I also like the one where he's like a dad. He's a football player. Oh, The Game Plan. That's what it's called, The Game Plan.
Yeah,
yes.
I like The Game Plan as well.
I thought that was great. It showed some versatility. San Andreas was cool because it was so over the top.
Of course, like a Rock movie is.
I loved it. The Rock is a pilot, but he saves people. And from helicopters, why not? Sure, why not? And yeah, then we'll go with that. We'll go with Fast 5. That's my favorite Rock movie.
I'm trying to think of the movie that what is it called? I can't even think of. He was like an amputee.
That's San Andreas.
No. San Andreas is with the plane and the earthquake.
Yeah, earthquake, and he's a pilot, and he's like a helicopter pilot.
One of them, he has one leg. He's trying to climb a building.
What?
Yes, he has one leg climbing the building.
I have never seen this. Do we have a stagehand here? Where is this?
Wait a minute. I had to look this up now.
Somebody pull this up.
I am looking it up as we speak because
I
he has so
remember
many.
The Rock with one leg.
He has so many movies.
I remember The Rock flexing out of a cast. Did that happen?
Yeah, that was in Furious 7.
Yes.
So he did the rock bottom and like threw a table to a dude, and then got kicked out of a building 5 stories up.
Yup.
He was in his cast. He's like, you know what? Forget this cast. I'm gonna go to work.
Yeah, Daddy's got to go to work. That's the.
Actually, that's my favorite Furious movie, Furious 7, just because of how outrageous it is.
You know what I love? You know, this is a public service announcement. I'd love to work for $7 Productions in the Rock's company. I feel like his meetings, okay, all right, guys, how do we make this even more ridiculous? No.
Seriously.
Another one. No. Let's okay, I like this. I jump out of a helicopter on fire. Okay, how do we take this to another level? We have CGI, guys. Like seriously, that's the Rock's meetings for sure.
I could swing from this while jumping out the helicopter, and then I could swing myself over to that boat over here, and then the boat's gonna catch on fire. I'm gonna swim all the way to shore. You're gonna get a shot of me just swimming all the way to shore. Something like that.
Something. I mean, look at Ballers. The last season of Ballers was so amazing because it just did not make any sense. That's just the Rock stuff, man. I love it.
The movie with the Rock is called Skyscraper.
Skyscraper. I have never seen Skyscraper.
He tries to climb the world's tallest building, which is 240 stories.
Okay, get this. He's a former FBI agent and U.S. war veteran who now assesses security for skyscrapers. Who comes up with that? Who wrote that?
Look, I'll tell you, I seen the movie, right?
And now he's in China.
Yeah, he's in China. Yes, he's in China.
What? China gave him a good bag for that one to say that the movie was in China.
Because if you see the synopsis, what would you think the movie is about? It's not about that.
Okay. I'm thinking, hold on. I haven't seen a second of this movie. All I see is the poster, which is him hanging off a building that looks like it's on fire. So, from what I gathered is that this building catches on fire and he has to save somebody.
Yes, that is it. But
The Rock always has to save somebody.
Yeah.
Always. That's how you know. Oh, what's this movie about? The Rock saved somebody. Boom! I just saved you an hour and 40 minutes of your time. The Rock saved somebody, more than likely a female, because he's got to have a female co-star, right? Or he's a very popular man, but there's a female in between. But The Rock always saves somebody. He leaves he always sends the people happy, whether it's WrestleMania or it's a PG-13 movie. He's gonna send you home happy.
Of course, because everybody, look, this is one part I'm just gonna have to spoil because it's a Rock movie and it's ridiculous. Of course, out of everybody on this 200
helicopter,
everybody on this 240-story building, and of course, only 3 people live in the burning building, and that's his family. Of course, it is, right? Of course.
Wait a minute. Only 3 people live in this building?
No, everybody escaped the building because of the fire.
Oh.
Except for those 3 people in his family, because of course they didn't be the only ones that escaped.
How did they not escape? Or were they like on the top floor?
It's a long story. They wanted to kill him, basically.
What?
It's a long story.
Is Pain and Gain the only movie that The Rock doesn't save somebody? Does he save Mark Wahlberg at any point?
Well, I think what's the movie? No, he saved somebody in Baywatch. Never mind.
Yeah, he saves drowning people.
Is Central Intelligence? Does he save anybody?
Central Intelligence. Oh, it's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, the Rock movies literally are the same thing. I think he plays the same dude with a different name every time.
He either saves somebody or he has like a nice like come from behind story, and he like he punches somebody and it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think the most ridiculous save that The Rock has done is Rampage.
Hold on, I'm gonna go look at his filmography real quick.
Oh, because he saved a gorilla, right?
What?
Not
Wait.
only is it a gorilla, it's the gorilla a size of King Kong. Is what he
Wait a
saves.
minute, what movie is this?
Rampage.
He saves King Kong.
It's a albino gorilla he saves.
He saves King Kong's cousin.
It's oh yeah, this is now that we talk about it, it's like, yeah, these movies are ridiculous.
I hope you do realize that The Rock was nominated for Best Actor in a Comedy for Central Intelligence.
That movie was actually very funny.
Okay.
He wasn't The Rock in that movie. He was kind of like a kid. It's kind of like a.
I can't even find Rampage on his filmography. Oh, there it is.
So long, you had to scroll down all the way.
It came out last year.
Man, he saves.
Oh God! And the tagline is "Big meets bigger." Can you? You know what? The Rock. They talk about creating your narrative. The Rock is like God, dude. He is. Oh my God! This is amazing.
That's kind of like how when he came out with Central Intelligence, it was like I forgot what Kevin Hart's character name was. It was like he's gonna need help from very big
The
Johnson.
movie made $430 million.
Of course.
Rampage did.
Of course.
It cost 140 to make, right? So the movie made 250 million. The Rock, dude, how much did they pay? I wonder how much of the 140 million is The Rock's cut. The Rock has got to be making like 50 million of a movie at least.
But the thing is, though, it's like with his movies, the more ridiculous they are, the more people go see them because of how ridiculous they are. So that's why he keeps making them.
Yes, because it's like he's just like, I'm gonna just make movies as pro wrestling as possible. It's like pro wrestling without the ring. It's like, what was the name of the match that Matt Hardy had? Like
the Final Deletion.
Yeah, what was that thing called?
I think the Ultimate Deletion. One of those. He has a lot of them, but yeah.
Where he kind of just made his own thing. That's what The Rock does, but with movies.
And he has a big budget too. So
yeah, The Rock has 100 million to play with.
Oh, I got one. One movie that I know for sure he didn't save anybody is Fighting with My Family. It's a wrestling movie.
Yeah, but that's based on somebody else though. He's not. Is he in the movie?
Yeah, he's in the movie
as himself.
Yes.
No. He has to be somebody to save somebody.
Okay, I guess.
Because if he's just The Rock, he's The Rock. Okay, cool. Does he save anybody in Jumanji or the Jungle Cruise?
Jumanji, well, actually, technically, he doesn't save people. They just had to get out. So technically, I guess you can count it as not saving anybody. This is actually kind of weird seeing how many movies he saved somebody in because it's all of them. Literally all of them.
All of them.
Even in the game plan, he saved his team from going to the championship. He was in Why Did I Get Married? That's all right. This man.
Is the Rock like? Yeah, I'm trying to think if The Rock is. Imagine The Rock in a couples movie. I don't think that's something he's never done. Like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith reboot, but instead of Brad and Angelina, it's The Rock and like Cardi B. I don't know, like something different.
Cardi B?
I don't know. Who's the most badass action woman right now? You want The Rock and Ronda Rousey to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith? That doesn't seem like a hot couple. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm trying to think of who is an action star really now.
Who's
they have so many
star that's really attractive, that's really beautiful as well? Like
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. That
ballpark.
Is that the only one? Like, I'm trying to think of more. I think that's the only one.
What? The only what?
Scarlett Johansson. Maybe she's the only one I can think of, literally.
Let's see. Action star actress.
unless they unless they found like Halle Berry or somebody.
No, who's the? Oh my god, who's it? Who's that? Jennifer, maybe Jennifer Lawrence.
Maybe. This is
Uh,
completely going off the rails. we
we've gone off
we
the
just
rails. This is your show, man. I go whatever you want, man.
oh man. All right, I'm gonna just give a couple of names, and you tell me. Uh, these are names from childhood that people always say are their top 3 crushes. Okay.
Okay, so what do I say? Like one word back, or do you just want me to spiel on it?
No, I just want you. After I say these names, I want you to say which one was your favorite. I'm gonna name 3 names. Okay.
Got it. Got it.
These are what every '90s kid says is their crush. So I'm gonna give you these 3. You can either rank them or just tell me which one is your favorite. All right.
Okay.
We got Kimberly from Power Rangers. We got Kelly from Saved by the Bell, and we have Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Kelly.
Kelly.
Out of
Okay.
3, I go Kelly.
Okay. Why did you go Kelly so easily?
Because that's the only one I watched.
Okay. I'm telling you, I don't know. Topanga is
I didn't watch
I,
Boy Meets World at all. I remember that on the Disney Channel though. The only show I watched on the Disney Channel was Smart Guy.
really. Hey, Smart Guy was kicking. I don't care what
Oh, I
nobody.
love that show. I would
Smart.
stop what I was doing and watch that show.
So many shows. So, were you a Nickelodeon guy, a Cartoon Network guy, or what?
Nickelodeon for sure.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, look,
So,
all that Good Burger.
of course, Keenan and Kel might be my favorite Nickelodeon show, just because it's just so ridiculous and wacky.
Their intro was so awesome. I think Coolio
Oh,
was doing it, dude. I don't know,
yeah,
but I just remember
Coolio.
that song was awesome.
I mean, I have like I got all that's the Keenan and Kel's, even some of the Amanda Show a little bit, just
Oh,
because
the Amanda Show.
which just turned 20 like last month. So that's crazy that it just turned 20. And then of course SpongeBob is so quotable. Literally, I probably say a line for SpongeBob every day and not even mean to do it. It's just
I remember I remember watching the first episode of SpongeBob. That thing was so hyped. I had to wait and watch it on television. I remember watching the first episode.
Is that the one with the nematodes and the I forgot what happened. They
Don't even fucking remember. I just remember the pineapple. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And there was like some old raspy white dude talking all the time too. That's what I remember.
You talk about the pirate?
The pirate man,
The
Mr.
pirate dude is the dude that
Crab.
plays
You got Mr.
SpongeBob.
Krabs, the Krusty Krab, Patrick Star, Sandy Cheeks, and then you got Plankton. All those dudes.
So if you were stuck with watching one show for the rest of your life from your childhood because it would like probably make you more happier that you're stuck somewhere for the rest of your life, which show would you pick?
Holy shit. That's a great question. That's a great question. One show from my childhood that I'd have to watch. Snap, that's hard, man. I don't even know. I'm trying to remember what TV show I watched religiously. What about you? What's yours?
Mine would maybe have to say I'll say SpongeBob, just because for one it's been over 20 years, so I'm pretty sure
Right.
out of all those I have a good episode, and because of it's just so ridiculous. It made me laugh because of how ridiculous it is that I won't be, I'll be numb to everything around me. So
You know what? You know what, show? I'm gonna say this right here. This is gonna be funny. What? I'm gonna go with Ballers with the modern answer.
okay,
Because
ballers. Okay.
that shit's so over the top. I love it. It doesn't make any sense at all, but I love it. Um.
Now I haven't even seen this show, but
Oh,
my
I got it.
cousin
I got it. I got it. I got it. Double Dare. I want to watch
Double
Double
Dare.
Dare
Okay.
the rest of my life because that shit was always popping no matter what.
Really? Okay, that's what's up. You know they did come back with Double Dare.
Nah, I don't want to ruin it.
But hey, I know they had Double Dare, then I think they had Double Dare, and they came back in like 2000 or something, and now they have it now. So it's like
I like
They
Double
got a
Dare.
couple. They
Double
got a
Dare was
couple.
good. I could watch that. I'm trying to think of some nostalgic like game show stuff like that I really
Edges
enjoy.
of the Hidden Temple.
Yes, that's the other one. Love it.
Now, have you? This is a Cartoon Network show. Have you ever seen this show called Hole in the Wall?
No. The only shows I watched on Cartoon Network from what I remember is probably Ed, Ed, and Eddie for a little bit.
Yeah,
And
that was a good show.
that was a good show. Oh, you know, it was also a very underrated show that I just remember that I really, really loved.
What?
Angry Beavers.
Really?
I like
Okay.
that. I like that
Never
show.
really get the Angry Beavers.
Huh?
I never really get Angry Beavers when we talk about Cartoon Network. I always get like
Yeah.
Teen
Oh,
Titans.
was that on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? I just had to pop that up.
Well, Angry Beavers was on Nickelodeon, but I'm saying I never really get that answer. Not even I rarely get
Now I'll give you the GOAT. I'll give you the greatest cartoon of all time right here.
Okay.
The greatest.
Okay.
I think I watched it on Cartoon Network. Tom and Jerry.
Okay. That's the OG. Okay.
That's an OG. Now you got the Coyote. I like those all. Tom and Jerry was something else. I used to watch it with my dad a lot, so that's probably why it's a little more sentimental. But I also with the Foghorn Leghorn guy always made me laugh. But in terms of Cartoon Network, I watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's a little more fast forward. But yeah, that's in terms of Cartoon Network. That's it.
Do you have a favorite adult cartoon, like a South Park or a Family Guy or anything like
Oh
that?
my God. You know what? That's the show I'd watch the rest of my life. Family Guy. I fucking love. I would watch Family Guy, and to this day, Sunday at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Man, look, after The Simpsons or American Dad or whatever stupid show they had to plug, Family Guy. Oh man, that's my show right there. And I remember when it got canceled and pulled from Fox, and then it came back. Oh, great show. South Park is up there too because
South Park.
South Park is man, that's 1A and 1B for me. Because I remember staying up Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. It all depends when the season premieres were. It's either Wednesdays or Thursdays. Remember, there's always middle of the week. I'd stay up to 10 o'clock and watch that new episode of South Park. Because that was a great show. So, Family Guy, Sundays up for Family Guy. And then during the week was South Park. That was the breakdown for me.
I think for me, it'll be those two shows, and then like a sleeper show is Futurama up there.
That's a sleeper. See, I'm not a big Simpsons guy.
Okay.
So, I like Futurama. It had its run though. Like it had some good seasons. That was the other show. That was the other show in the Fox series. And then American Dad is done. That was pretty good. I'm trying to remember. It had like Bob's Burgers for a second. I remember that show for a minute. I don't know what else they have there on the Fox slate.
I didn't really watch like the Bob's Burgers or the American Dads or the Cleveland Show. I didn't really watch any of them.
Yeah, I don't think you missed anything.
I think like after Family Guy and they tried to do spin-off, I was like, okay, I kind of just like Family Guy and that's it.
That's it. I just keep this cast together.
Now, if Quagmire has a show, I might think about watching it. Because it's gonna be ridiculous.
Like if Quagmire had a show, that show has to be online only. They needed to just let Quagmire go all in.
It's gonna be about how many people he brings to his house and stuff.
Huh?
It's gonna be about how many women he brings to his house.
Exactly. Like that show, just let Quagmire just be an assassin. Yeah, I would love to name my kid Quagmire, but I know my girl would hate that.
Well, you can name him. What's Gwen? Is his
name?
Glenn. Yes.
Glenn is such an unassuming name. Shout out Glenn.
That's why he go by Quagmire, because Quagmire is his Mac Daddy name, and Gwen is just
Quagmire.
It's just his that's his name that he goes to work with.
Can you imagine? Like, I'm gonna call my son, "Hey Q." I love it. I could see it. I can name one of my kids Quagmire. That'd be amazing.
Okay. Our time is running short, but before we get out of here, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you at?
Yes, absolutely. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the Prime Nostalgia Podcast, obviously. But if you enjoyed my content, make sure to go at Too Legit Show, TOO. Legit Show all together, Instagram, YouTube. Type that into YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Too Legit with Alex Fernandez. You can find me on all the video platforms, all the audio platforms. I'm at Mr. Alex Fernandez on Instagram. I'm sure my guy Prime will put all the information in the description.
Of course,
But
of course.
give me a like, give me a follow. I'm always trying to put as much content as I can, and trying to get some hot interviews as well. So I'm putting it out there. And Prime, this was awesome, man. Way to turn back the clock. You really brightened my day, actually. This was awesome to talk about the old school times of YouTube, old cartoons and movies to today, man. You made me feel proud of myself in a way. Now I feel really confident in myself there, Prime. I'm going to go talk to beautiful women right now. Thank you, Prime. Good.
One more thing before we get out of here. I got to talk to you because I seen this like whenever you post it. I don't even know if you have this up anymore. It's an interview that you did with Scott Hall.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna put that up for a Throwback Thursday.
Oh, that had me dying.
He just completely didn't give a fuck. I don't know. I loved it though.
Was that on your channel? Am I just tripping? Did I see that recently?
On my channel, but I have the video. I gotta put it up.
Okay. Because I remember that vividly, and I probably haven't even seen it since you put it up. But it's so funny though.
What made it good? What'd you like the most about it?
It was like, you're a jabroni, aren't you? Something like that he said.
Just put me down real quick.
I was like, dang, okay, all right, Scott Hall. But he said you're a marker, you're a jabroni. One of those he said, and he was like, yeah, just keep it moving. He was like, no, you're a jabroni. Okay, Mr. Hall. Something like that.
Yeah, I'm a jabroni, Mr. Hall. Okay, anyway.
Because I know you do like, you did RBD, you did Sasha Banks. So, I like, those are good things too that you need more of. You deserve more.
Yeah, I gotta put all that stuff up again, and I gotta reach out to WWE PR, man, because next time they come to LA, maybe I can grab a couple minutes with some people.
Of course. So, one last thing. This is the real last thing.
Okay.
From everything we talked about today, what is one thing you want everybody to know about Alex?
That I have a big heart.
Oh, okay.
I just want everybody to know that if you think about me, that I have a big heart. It's a blessing and a curse. But I just always try to lead with a big heart and be and when I do that, when I lead with my heart, like with a good heart, and I lead like it helps everything else, whether it's the podcast or personal life. So I'll just say that. Big heart.
Okay. Mr. Big Heart Alex Fernandez himself, aka Smalls. So
throwback.
So from me, from Alex, any last words before we jet on out of here?
Oh, for me?
Yeah, any last words?
Subscribe to Prime Nostalgia. Subscribe to Prime Nostalgia.
There it is. From me, from Alex, from all of the things we talked about today, I gotta say, that's all. Prime time is all the time, and we are out.
Look who we got, ladies and gentlemen. Does he really need an introduction, ladies and gentlemen? Look who I got here. The Intercontinental man right here, the guy who made the ladder match. Scott Hall, I got a couple questions for you, my man. Short and sweet. It's almost too sweet. No? You're gonna leave me hanging, Scott? There it is. Scott, my first question is about your son, Cody Hall.
Do you work for the WWE?
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm just a...
I could tell because you're a total jabroni.
I'm an amateur?
Yeah.
Who should I go to get better?
Total jabroni.
I'm a total jabroni.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Cody Hall, New Japan.
I heard of him. I heard
You heard of him? He's pretty good. What's in store for him?
I hear he comes from good stock.
Thank you. Yeah,
that's the rumor.
He's got
It's a rumor going on. That's the rumor going on.
What do you see in Cody Hall's future? Is it NXT? Is it working more in Japan? What do you see from Cody?
I just talked to him last night, and he's making his mark in Japan. I'm really proud of my son. He's always blazing his own trails. He's doing his own thing. Cool. And so I love my kids. My daughter just turned 20 today. Dang. She's on an academic scholarship at college in Florida, so I feel pretty good. My kids are chasing their dreams, and I'm so happy. To me, I tell Cody, the only place to be is the WWE. But at the same time, I worked in Japan and Europe a lot too. He's a young guy, so I encourage him to see the world and have fun, you know. The WWE ain't going nowhere.
There it is.
It's always going to be here. It's always going to be looking for talent. So that's what I encourage him to do.
My last question, you get the same questions over and over again at WrestleMania, so I want to mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to try and mess with you a little bit. Here we go.
So far.
I'll try. If you're stuck on a desert island, would you rather have the hottest chick in the world, but you had to eat McDonald's every day the rest of your life, or a fat chick with
I take the hot chicken to McDonald's.
Man, my man, same. Scott Hall, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Hall, man, come on!